Hey, what's up guys? Christian over at Unfit Car Stereo. Today we are in a BMW E46. It's a BMW 3 Series. We're going to show you how to replace this radio with an aftermarket Sony radio. The Sony radio goes above your air duct, so all the videos you see where you have to cut, you don't have to. So let's get it started. First you're going to do is remove the dash. You need a panel popper tool set. You probably just need one. For this we use this. I noticed that this is cracked here, so watch my other videos to pop out the dash, because I have a couple other videos for E46. As long as you pry straight, this will never come out straight. But if you wiggle and like pull upward, kind of upward motion, it'll get stuck. And let's see what happens behind this dash. So I'm gonna start over here. So far so good. Okay, so good. Maybe no one's taking this out. Maybe it just cracked because of the sun, or... Well, look, it's clean. I was not expecting that. Well, maybe some... I don't know if someone's been in here before. I can't tell, but... See, that's what happens. What happens is that this piece... See, this is plastic, and then there's metal inside of here that grips onto here. So, if you pry upward, this will happen. It's no big deal. You can buy these from the dealership, or honestly, what I do, I'll take this off. If I can get it off, there it is. And then what I'll do is I'll take, see these, what you do is you turn them, and once you turn, they come out easy. All right, but, so what I usually do is I'll put like a strong one on the end and put this weak one in the middle. All right, so now we take this off. You're gonna start over here. And do the same thing. There's only one over here, but make sure you pry straight. Alright. See how I'm prying up against here and not just going up like this? Because if you go up, that's where the problem starts. Okay. See, this one came out nice and clean. Alright, next thing you're going to do is you're going to remove the radio. So, take out the radio. One Phillips head screw on each side. Steering wheel's in the way. That's what happens when you use a fancy screwdriver. This thing I actually bought as a joke, thinking it's one of those things, you know, Sunday mornings you're just bored, so you buy something. Well, I bought it and it actually ends up being one of my favorite tools to work with. Alright, so radio, just pull it right out. Okay, careful not to slide it up here because you want to scratch up here. Okay. So, now that we have it out that much, I'm just going to stick a little towel in here. This is just to keep it from scratching. Honestly, I usually don't have to do this, but since I'm doing a video and I'm paying attention to the camera. Alright, so you squeeze here, and that releases that. Now, over here, this is a little weird. I don't know if I can we get it around enough? Yeah, you guys can see that, right? So what you got to do here is use the same panel tool that you used to take out the dash. So you have to pry this up, and as you pry up, it pushes away. Okay. So that's that. Next part you're going to do is pop out the climate control. Am I low enough? Let me make sure. All right. So we're just going to squeeze here and kind of wiggle. Be careful because you see this little bar here. When you get it out, it's gonna hurt. Actually, you know what? Let's use a pry tool, because that's actually the proper tool to use it. Let's not be a savage. All right, so this is a pry tool. You put it in here and you pry. Let's see how this works for this. It may not work. Actually, you could use it to pull. Let me see. I've never done it this way. I usually just hurt my fingers. Just hurt your fingers. So you're just gonna pull like this, wiggle. That's in there real tight. I swear that just pops out. Alright, let me... You see what I mean by hurt your fingers? It's just, you smack into it. But that really is supposed to pop out like that. This is 2 metal clips. It doesn't hurt that much, but just be aware. Alright, so this comes up like this, and boom. This one has a little locking tab in there. So you pretty much... I think these you just wiggle off. Yeah, this you just wiggle off. So it has a little locking tab, but it releases with pressure. The same thing in here. Just wiggle off. Always grab by the connector, not by the wire. and this 3-pronger here. That one's giving me some trouble. Alright, so like I said, always grab a connector, never wire. Don't worry about these two, because if you see, these two look alike, but they're keyed, so you can't put them in the wrong place. So don't worry about having to tag which one goes where. All right, next thing we're gonna take out is this pocket. This is another one of those hurt yourself ones. So you can pop your handbag here, but there's actually a screw right here, right along here, that you're gonna hit your hand into. Easiest way to do this, I mean safest way, if you're not a savage, is to just grab a flat wedge tool, go into the side, and pull up as you pry. So don't just count on the pry because you'll snap the plastic. You kind of want to help it out, okay? So you do that, and there goes the pocket. See, there's a screw right here, and when you go to pull on it from the back, your screw always hits that. It doesn't pierce the skin, but it hurts. All right, before we continue going down, we have to take this out. We have to take this out to get to this. Now, first thing you're gonna do is look around the whole thing, make sure you have no cracks, because I guarantee you, I have done this a couple times and not noticed the crack, and then had to go back on the video and say, oh my God, did I break that? And the video showed I didn't break it. One time I actually broke one, told the customer I'm sorry because I had gone out to a junkyard to pick one up and swap it out, and he told me, bro, that thing was broken when I dropped it off. I was like, really? So check it so you don't get mad at yourself. All right, so over here, counterclockwise, 2 Phillips head screws. All right, put those in a separate one so you don't know. Now this is easy but hard. Easy if you know how to do it, hard if you don't know. First time I did this, I went for hours trying to figure out how to do it, and I was just like, how do people get this out? So what you got to do is you got to stick a panel tool in here. I use a screwdriver on the other one, so if you want to check that out. But you can stick a panel tool in here. Now there's a little thing right here and a little thing right here you have to unclip. So when you stick the panel tool right here and kind of bend it up like that, actually, all right, you hear that? Yep, that's the plastic release. So once you get that open, you're just going to stick the panel tool here, and then you do the same thing on the other side. You're pretty much prying. There you go. So what you're doing is that you're prying, pushing this down to separate this. So as you look right here, you see how these things? These things are the ones that catch, okay? So when you push it in, they go in. So what I do is I use the panel tool to separate the two, okay? 2 ways of doing this. You can either leave it on the dash. The only problem with the dash is that it'll keep sliding off. All right, guys, now you can leave the piece up there, but you really should take it out. So what we're gonna do, whoops, goes flying. All right, important thing here is the wide side goes towards the rear of the vehicle, because when you go to put it back, you might get a little confused. So the wide side faces you. All right, now that we're here, you see this has a little squeeze thing. Can you see that? Perfect. All right, so all you got to do is go in there with a pair of pliers. So get it straight so you can see it like that. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it on film. And then squeeze while you pull. It's a little hard. I'm going to rest it on the inside so that way it doesn't scratch. Is that on film? Ah, I got it. Yeah. All right. Nothing worse than editing video and realize that you missed a shot. There you go. So when you squeeze, it comes out through the back. And then this big thing, you just got to roll it around and it slides right off. So there's a locking tab here. All right, so you just got to slide it off. Okay, all that work was just to get this out. At this point, we've taken off a couple different screws. I don't really think it matters which one goes where, but I always separate them to make sure. All right, so we're gonna come over here and take this right out. Good job. Garbage truck, sorry, distracted. Garbage truck just tried backing into our driveway. the wrong way and just smacked into the concrete. All right, so that's out. And now let's get out the bottom over here. All right, guys, now we gotta focus on taking off the shifter. I'm not sure how this comes off, to be honest. According to the video, it just comes straight up, but that was an automatic. Oh, manual comes off the same way too. Yeah, there's nothing holding this here but pressure. According to the video that I saw, the boot should come off. Let's grab that shifter again. I'm actually looking for the scraper that I used to pop off here. Yeah, this should do. All right, found them. All right, locking tabs are here, and on the other side the same thing. Pull this boot off. Now, let me change the angles because there's 2 screws in here you can't see. Okay guys, now you have the shifter boot off. These 2 screws gotta come off. So you got a Phillips head. At this point, if you don't know lefty loosey, righty tighty, maybe you shouldn't be working on the car. But even, you know, if you don't know righty tighty, lefty loosey, and you're learning, good for you too. Because not everyone was born. Nobody was born knowing lefty loosey, righty tighty. So, you know, go up like this a little bit and pull forward. This locks in this way. Okay, now when you go down here, depending on what car you have, there are different connectors. On this car, we have these 2 right here. I don't even know how this comes out. I think there's a push tab on the other side. There is no push tab on anything on here. This just wiggles right out. Yep, and the other one, there's a push tab over here, but I think it's the same thing. It just wiggles right out. Beautiful. Like I said, I've seen other setups, so you know, just when you pull up, be careful what's under there. All right, 2 more screws over here now. 1, 2. Okay. Separate over here. Now, I think there's 2 more. I'll get this out of here. Yeah, there's 2 more screws over here. Remember that 1 screw I was telling you that hit me? It's up here. Let's move the camera. All right, so now we're down here, and I'm all excited. This is the first time I use my baby tripod. I got a little tripod just for this shot in cars. Perfect. All right, so 2 Phillips head screws over here. Okay. Now I'm gonna shift this back and stick shift, and then from what I remember, this whole thing just comes right out. Yep. Alright, so we're going to disconnect the cigarette lighter right here. Well, first we're going to disconnect this little thing, which is the light, okay? And then the ground. Hold on to the cigarette lighter so it doesn't break. That comes right out, and then the power. Right now over here we have, I think, 1 big connector. So this squeezes together and that comes out. And then there's another baby one over here. Wow, that's tight. Alright, now that we're here, you just kind of want to, I just caught myself, you want to be careful with the edges over here, because it's very easy to, by mistake, scratch an edge by not looking. This doesn't have any locking tabs. So, pretty much, there we go. So you just had to give it a little bit of wiggle, and now the whole thing comes out. All right, now the reason we had to take all this out was because the climate control is going to go over here, and this is going to shift down. I'll show you all that in a second. There are 2 T10 Torx here, okay? Be very careful when you undo these. Well, undoing them is not the problem. When you put them back in, I'm using a screw gun right now, but my screw gun is very well controlled. You see it's barely moving. Okay, so you just got to be careful you don't apply too much pressure and crack them. I'm throwing these in the same center cut because They're different than the rest. So I'll remember that. It's not a bad idea with all these screws to put them in bags, so you don't get them mixed up. Okay, so that comes right out. Alright, boys and girls, now taking out this cigarette lighter is a pain. I actually just figured it out, but it really wasn't too easy. So this is not the official BMW, this is just the way I figured out to do it. So I'm just going to shove my screwdriver. I have two little screwdrivers. I'm going to shove one in here. So if you look in here, you'll see on each side there's a locking tab. If you see that, there's one there and one over here. Okay, little black dots you have to separate to slide this through. And then once you slide it through, you have to twist it so it follows a metal channel and it doesn't fall into the groove, because then you end up back where you started. So let me see if I can show this on video. It's a little hard. So I just shove my screwdriver in here, gap that open enough to where that can go through, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Well, let's do this side first. Alright, so I'm in there where it's gapped. It's a lot easier on a desk. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pull this off out here. I did it twice on the bench inside, but I don't want to move the whole camera rig. So push that in there. I'm putting downward pressure now, and I'm going to gap this one open. Ah, see, it went too far. So now we're going to have to push it back just to see where, because you don't want it sinking in here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to twist this to a point where this and the opposite side are both along the metal, so it doesn't fall in there. So now I can push this all the way out. Okay, see, I'm not sure if you guys got that, but there's plastic, these two little plastic dots right here, they squeeze into here to keep it in place, so you have to get it out. Oops, that's actually those two little plastic dots, they squeeze. Let me see if I got that on video. So I reshot it. I don't want to reshoot the whole thing, but you can see right here and right there, there's two little plastic tabs. Okay. Alright guys, so now we got to put the dash back together. So this piece is going to replace the piece we just took out. Very nice, right? Okay. So there's two different ones though. If you look over here, this one has 5 button openings, so that's not for this car. Your car, well, the car I'm in only has 1, so we have this kit. So you're going to put this back in, make sure you put the right side facing up. Okay. Then you're going to put the T15 Torx back in. And remember what I said before, be very gentle putting this back in, because you can crack stuff. Especially the plastic on this kit is not as quality as OEM. Alright, so you see how this, alright, that was already too tight. Do it by hand, even if you have one of these. Because I got right to snug and it spun a little. So, see? Now the cigarette lighter goes back in. Alright, so I'm just going to try to pop this right in. Does it have any locking tabs? Yeah. So you say they put 2 locking tabs in there just like the factory one did. Let's see how they work. So I'm going to try to go in at an angle. Oh wow, they work pretty good. So you see when you push it through, you want to go like that and then twist to lock. Wow, that's nice. Lose the ashtray, so you got to find a new place to put your coins. Now I believe, what are we doing? We're putting all this back together first. So we put that connector. Let me make sure. Most cars you can't put a connector in backwards, but you always want to check to make sure. So that goes in there. This goes in here. Now we connect the cigarette lighter. Oh, no! I just noticed this has no light around the lighter. So that's one thing. Now we connect this. Remember, the brown one always goes to the silver one, which touches the outs. Well, is that true? Yeah, because the center pin is power, and power goes to the gold one. So red to gold, and brown to the silver one. All right. I'll check that with the meter before we're done and let you know. So now, over here is missing a part. So this with the U's facing forward, you're going to shove this in here and lock it into place. So this goes under these little lips, okay? And you're going to lock it into place. What I mean by locking is that bar has to go in there. And now we're going to go right over here. It's a little tight of a squeeze, but... Alright, now that we have all that stuff on, we're going to screw it down. Just going to grab 4 screws. I'm going to start from down here. It's not a bad idea to get down, because it's a little hard to see down here. So I'm going to do those first. Okay. Okay. Now we got these 2 up here. Just get up here for that. Whoa. Alright. Alright, make sure everything's snug. Alright, now remember that nasty climate control that beat up my hand? Put that back in. 1, 2, what's it, 3, 4. No buckle my shoe. Forget. Alright, so 1 goes here. 2 goes here. Forget about the, forgive me for the noise. It's a little hot. And don't make, and I'm wearing long sleeves, but it's better when you wear long sleeves in a dark car because your arms, the light, my light arms take up way too much brightness, or I don't know how to describe it, but anyway, so there goes there. Voila, look, it's starting to take some form. I'm gonna put the shifter back on. No, I'm not. Alright guys, so this is the subframe for the radio. So the way this works is that this mounts into here, and these 2 side brackets hold in the radio. Now, depending on what radio you have to adjust it. If you're doing the Sony radio that we're doing, all you're gonna do is push these all the way out and screw it in. Same thing on this side, all the way inward, well I guess inward, not outward, and screw it in. I think for most radios you do that, and there may be some Chinese branded radios where you have to. See, let me explain something. This kit that we're selling here comes 4 ways. It comes with the straight on the bottom, with the 5 on the bottom, then it comes like this, and then there's also a piece where if you want to do a big radio, you cut all this out. Now the Sony radio we're installing right now, you don't have to cut this because it has a long back that goes over it. So but for the Sony radio, the XAV 1000 or 100, that's what you do. So I'm gonna go put the screws in through here and I'll be right back. Alright guys, before we mount the radio, I'm gonna go over the wiring. This is the SRWH-BM1. So this has a it's smart radio wiring harness. That's what the SRWH, and the BM1 is, you know, BM is for BMW, and this is the first one. So this plugs into here. And this converts into a Blaupunkt then. So, you know, Blaupunkt was a big German company, so a lot of people used to Blaupunkt radios back in the day. Blaupunkt is no longer making radios. They actually outsource everything to China. So a lot of Chinese radios actually have this. They may have copied it from Blaupunkt. But anyway, so now what we do is we make adapters. This is a PMP SON, S-O-N for Sony, 0028, and 0028 is the model. All right, so this plugs into here. Now these are all the speaker wires on this end, okay? Over here you have the ground, which is black, yellow, which is constant battery, orange turns on when you turn on your headlights to dim the radio so it's not bright in your face. Red is the switch 12 volts that tells the radio to turn on and off with the key. And this blue wire over here is your antenna wire, okay? And like I said, over here are all your speakers. So this plugs into here. Okay, now over here you have your speaker wires, like you have the, you know, this whole connector, and then we have the yellow, red, orange, and black we spoke about. Now on this radio for the Sony 0028, our antenna turn on wire is actually an amplifier turn on. The difference is amplifier turn on turns on when the radio is on. Antenna turn on only turns on when AM/FM is on. So most radios nowadays only have one wire. So what we do here is that we take the antenna amplifier turn on here, we label it as an amplifier turn on, and then if you had a different car that needed an amplifier turn on for the factory amp, this would do that job. Okay. Now this is the parking brake wire. So this gets hooked up to your parking brake to whatchamacallit. So all the features that are unsafe cannot be used while you're driving. If you have a car meant just for the track, you can buy a bypass online. This car is not getting the radio. This car came in for a Bluetooth adapter install, and we're giving him a free install because he let us videotape in his car. Okay, so this gets hooked up to that. This purple and white is your backup camera wire. So what this wire does is when it sees 12 volts, it switches the radio screen to the backup camera screen. So you will only be using this if you have a backup camera. Okay, so that covers all the wires: amplifier turn on, backup camera, and parking brake. Like I said, we're not going to run this. Check the website, we'll tell you where to tap into this. Now back to the steering controls. This is the SRWH BM1. Now this end is where the steering control wire goes. This is a SWCL, steering control lead, SON for Sony. So you plug this into here. Now if you notice, this has a bunch of little black wires going in and out. These little black wires tell the unit what we're doing. So you're going to unplug this, wait about 5 seconds, plug this back in. At this point, the unit gets power, reads these black things, and programs itself for Sony. Simple. No crazy programming involved. All right. Now, this is an European standard antenna. This is the Enfig AA-BM1. Okay. Simple converter. Converts it from the BMW standard. Kind of a German standard. Even American cars are using them now. And this is the standard for aftermarket radios. Okay. So when you plug into the radio, you're going to have antenna, AM/FM, steering wheel control. You're gonna run a microphone. We're not doing the microphone run in the video. I'm pretty sure we did one already for a Bluetooth adapter, so we're probably gonna use that one. And then what else do we have? Microphone. Oh, USB. If you want to do that, run into the glove box or down by the center console. You know, you could actually just. But I'll have more options as we do install. So check the website for more options. So that's the wiring. Did I forget something on the back of this radio? We gotta run the USB. We gotta run the steering wheel control goes in here. This is for external. I think this is to add navigation. Yeah, I think this is, you can add I think TomTom navigation to this. The power, the microphone goes in there. Camera input, subwoofer output, front and rear outputs, and here is your AM/FM antenna input. All right, let me get the dash kit and we'll show you how to mount this finally. All right, guys. So now we're back with the wiring. I mean the mounting of the radio. It's actually pretty easy. So if you look at the radio kit, it actually has arrows where you're supposed to mount it. You see it? So on both sides. So see the arrows up here and then the arrows down there. All right. So I mean, play with it on the bench. So what I did was I put it on and then I put the face on. All right, guys. Not really sure if I mentioned it, but you can get a shorter version of this. The reason I use a longer version is because that it gives you more flexibility when you want to tuck something away. You know, it's a thinner wire to have push. Just, you know, in general, I don't like the little ones. They also fall out easier. So this antenna goes in here. Make sure it's all the way in. If it's halfway up, it's not making a good connection. The main harness goes here. This is where your microphone would go. Oh, just to mention, we have a microphone that goes in the factory location. We did do a video on that, but you know, check the website for details. Remote goes over here where it says remote, and like I said, you have to run this to the parking brake unless you're using it in a race car and you're going to bypass it. These two don't get used since this car is not getting a backup camera. Check the website. We're looking into backup cameras for this car. All right, so unplug there. Not unplug, I'm sorry, just tuck there, tuck, make sure everything's out of the way. You know, you're gonna run the USB and mic in your video. All right. that's there. Now we're gonna mount the 4 screws. Well, 2 at the bottom first. Alright. Then we're gonna apply that little thing. Then we're gonna remount the air conditioning vents. Okay, so this little loop is gonna go in here. I think it looks a little dark. Let me just make sure it's not. Alright, and then this is gonna just push into there. Like so. Then the metal clip. Where's the metal clip? What do I do with the metal clip? 1 second, I'll be right back. Alright, so found the metal clip. It was actually right on by my feet. We're gonna slide that puppy in right here. Oh, no, don't forget. The wider side goes towards the vents. Okay? This is just to reinforce the plastic that's there. And then we're gonna push that in there. Top first, so you see, so you hinge it up. And then you push it in. Or maybe not top first. Nope, not top first. Just slide it right in. Now we install the 2 screws. Hold it in here. Okay. Oh, I forgot. The over here, you're actually gonna use the screws that came with the kit, because it's just a different hole. This isn't the factory hole. Actually, you know what? Let's try the screws that came with the kit. See what happens. I mean, they came with the radio. They work. Just a little snug, don't make it too crazy. Alright. That looks good. Now we're gonna pop this back over it. Alright, and then the long one goes on the side. I'm not going to show you how to put that back on because obviously if you got it off, you can get it back. I'm actually not going to put it back on because of this crack. Actually, no, you know what? I want pictures of the radio installed. Actually, at this point, you should really test and make sure everything works. Okay? Before I lose you guys, let me show you the steering controls. Alright guys, so I had to cut and edit. I started rambling and talking about nonsense, so you know, these videos you can't spend 10 minutes talking about something that no one cares about. So, real quick, dropped in the radio, everything works fine, volume up, volume down. Now when you first plug it in, song up and down are not going to work. Sony changed the language your steering controls speak, but they're smart, because what they did, they knew they were going to run into problems, so they built in a programmer. I wish every company did this. So right now it's at the preset. We're going to change steering control in the menu to custom. We're going to go back. Now we're going to go steering control custom to adjusted. Alright, so you see all this? Alright, good. So I had just programmed them before I decided I had to reshoot it because I was speaking too much. So you're going to hold down volume. Now it's good. Now you're going to press the volume button on the steering control. Now it's yellow. See how that has a yellow ring around it? I got programmed. Whoops, I made a mistake. That's supposed to be volume. So I'm going to hold that down. See? I made a mistake and I programmed up to down. So volume up, I'm going to hold it, volume up. Hold this. Now you hold volume down. And it's programmed. For some reason, it's good that it happened to me because it'll happen to you. What's going on? So I'm going to hold volume up, now it's programmed. Now track down. I'm going to hold song down and it's programmed. Now you're going to hold song up. Now I'm going to hold the steering control button and it's yellow around this program. Now you can program mute, voice style, source, pickup, or hang up. If any of those are important to you, you know, by all means do them. To be honest with you, when a call comes in, you hit hang up and you hit answer from the phone. Voice dial, you pretty much push down this button and it does it. So I understand the steering wheel control is, oops, did I just mess that up? Nope, it works. So now we're gonna go home, and now we're gonna go into tuner. Volume up, volume down, track up. See, it's presets, and then when you hold it, it seeks. When you do, you know, Android Auto or CD, or this doesn't have CD, but the newer version will have CD, but I don't think it's gonna fit in here. Anyway, that one will do track up. That one will do the song up and down when you go up and down instead of presets, okay? Anyway, that's it. Videos brought to you by EnFitCarStereo.com. We sell and install. We also ship worldwide. If you're a shop, we do wholesale accounts. EnFitCarStereo.com. My name is Christian. If you have any questions, thank you for watching.